I can tell you sincerely, that's why I said it's not about corruption fighting back. It is that nobody is fighting corruption.
No, but your human rights project, I mean, aren't these some of the matters that, even if they don't speak up, that human rights projects can pick up?
No, these are things that we can pick. We don't have evidence to show that. That's why I said I became helpless, that if she's known about this and she's not acted on this, then where are we in this country? If we have enough evidence, substantiated one, like she can assert on the media to say that this man is being persecuted for this, then why have we not acted? Because it is most unfortunate sometimes that, and I wouldn't be surprised, there was a situation when it was actually also reported by one of the media that Madam Farida wrote letters for, Obon Victor Atta, Marua, and James Ibori to exonerate them from corruption situations that was written to the London Metropolitan. I can remember under the FOI Act that we wrote to her and her office, we have the proof of evidence of delivery, that she should provide us under the FOI Act, copies of those letters, and the EFCC as well. These are basic laws that needs to be respected by law enforcement agencies.
Did she admit writing the letter in the first place?
No, it is not now either admitting.
No, but if you're asking for a letter,
yes,
which
all she needs to respond is to say the letter does not exist, which would have been very easy for us.
Did you get any reply?
They didn't reply. And that, for that basis, we're going to court. She did not only fail to reply, she is also, as a law enforcement agency, both the EFCC and our
okay,
office,
so what impacts then will that have on the fight? Because if tomorrow she's off, a new person comes in, what will all of those have done to the process or the procedures for fighting corruption?
No, it's going to be a major tax, and I can see an Herculean tax for whoever is going to succeed or come into that office, because there's really no fight against corruption again in this country. It is most unfortunate that we're getting
plethora of issues. One of them was that, the president should lead by example. For instance, Nigerians do not have the president's list of assets, the declaration of assets, as it were. The Code of Conduct Bureau has also made noise about that. If you look at the last human rights report that was released, they say that, yes, much as they have been empowered to actually get all of this from public office holders, they lack the legislation to be able to put this out in the public front. And that's something they do not see the National Assembly. Well, they can prove us wrong. They do not have legislation to actually put this out in the public domain. But now that the National Assembly is looking at reforming the EFCC, one of the things that they have, one of the points they have brought forward to actually support judges being or heading the EFCC is that they will know which cases will hold water in court. Which cases can actually, because you've actually raised that issue, the fact that they bring out cases and that how can you bring out a case that the person will only get 1 year for, the judge cannot go and manufacture another case or manufacture sentences outside what has been prescribed by law. So the question will be, what would you say to that?
No, actually, that's why I said the concern is turning to confusion. We really don't need judges to go and sit on the anti-corruption institutions. We need young, vibrant persons. People of pedigree.
They have to be knowledgeable, don't they?
Not most of them are actually knowledgeable. It is very sad many times when you see these people, when you want to retire them into social officers, because they don't want to. These are seriously, many times, establishment persons who don't want to rock the boat, basically because of their pedigree, because of their time, because of their association. But you need people who are ready to make sacrifices, who are committed to change, who have the zeal to do the work, who has lots of energy.
Are Nigerians committed to change? Let's ask that question.
No, they have said not all of them, not all Nigerians.
Because you've heard the Commission's chairman talk about how our system rewards corruption, sort of, and how the people, it seems they're too docile.
No, you see, the docility is also born out of the fact that when you see institutions that are expected to lead the process faltering in doing that, then you can see people actually resigning either to church and mosque and then seeking God's intervention many times. But we need to see people who hold offices. And it is very good for Madam Waziri to speak up on some of the issues, but it is very sad and very bad for her to be showing helpless and displaying helpless situations and then also just condemning Nigerians' fate to what we all can see, the light at the end of the tunnel, because she's been put in that office. And unfortunately, at this you can also go back to history and then check. We don't see Ribadu And I'm sorry to make this effort because we're talking about EFCC and that is the only person we can refer to. We don't see him coming on the pages of newspapers and television that saying corruption is fighting back. No, I can't help the situation. No, I can't act again.
But he actually said that.
Sorry, he did.
Said it on
when was that? And what was the situation?
He said it during his time. He was on Sunrise Daily, and we also asked him that question. And he also talked about it. And there are many cases about, I mean, you heard her talk about the handover. No proper handover.
Oh, that is unfortunate because that you need to get clear. The handing over, I heard that. Unfortunately, it wasn't Ribadu handing over to her.
And unfortunately, we're out of time.
It was Lamode handing over to her. Ribadu already handed over to Lamode. So it was Lamode that was supposed to hand over to her. And unfortunately, again, it's institutional. It's not about person. If there are issues that needs to be resolved institutionally, I mean, she can always ask for updates. She can demand for documents. And if that is not given, we have institutions and we have laws in this country that would mandate, even the National Assembly could have summoned whoever was leaving office and failed to hand over appropriately.
All right, we'll see what we can do about all of these matters. But the important thing you highlighted, correct me if I'm wrong, is we need institutions to function properly.
Precisely.
All right,
and we need to get it right. We need to get it appropriately. And then we can't replace a bad situation with a bad amendment.